Hi everyone. I know everyone's tired, so let's have a little fun as we do this last hour. My slides. Are they here? Next slide. So, go back to the other slide. Sorry. So, this conference is good for a lot of things, right? We learn things. We get to see people we may have worked with, but it's also good for connection. So last year, I made a new friend. I like people, you probably can tell that. And I had gone to this session totally by accident. I just didn't know where else to go. And I was mesmerized by this person who was doing this training, and she was talking about restorative justice, and I'm in. I was like, you are amazing. And I walked up to her after the presentation. TJ, don't get me in trouble. He's my friend. He always corrects things that I say. And I said, I absolutely adore you. I'm going to stalk you because we're going to be friends. TJ's going to get me for saying stalk you. However, she was like, okay. And guess what? We did become friends. I didn't have to stalk her. So we do Zoom sessions and we talk, and we're talking Monday, and I'm like, oh my God, Samantha, I have to do this panel and I don't know what I'm really going to say. And we're having this really cool conversation about connection. And I'm telling her, I just wish people would talk to each other and be connected. And how come they don't know their neighbor? I mean, we're an hour in, deep on a Zoom. And this is what she said to me. Next slide. She said, you're talking about the revolution of connection. And I said, that's great. I'm stealing it and I'm giving you street cred, like the kids I work with say. And then I went home and I was so excited that I told my husband, and he goes, no. You're talking about the revolution of reconnection. Because back in the day, people actually talked to each other. My mom tells me stories how when her brother, my mother's number 6 of 7, came home from school, they all went to Catholic school, a very Catholic family, and he was in trouble, the whole street knew, but not in a bad way. They would be like, Robert, you have to do better. Robert, you gotta do better. How many people in this room, you actually know your neighbors and talk to them? Raise your hand. And not like this, hi, good morning, but like you really talk to them. It's amazing. This whole room, we should know all of our neighbors and we should talk to them and be friendly with them at minimum. Some neighbors are crazy, but some are not, right? It's called community. Next slide. This is what we've done now. We have these incredible devices that do incredible things. And I'm doing all those sessions around algorithms, but do you know how many I like to cook, how many recipes I find on Google? I don't even have to think about it. I just go, fish, boom, I get 500 different recipes. It's that easy because we're stuck like this. I can remember this when my daughter was like 6 and all her little mommy and me friends got an iPad. Guess who didn't get one? She didn't. You're 6. What are you going to do with it? You're 7. And we go visit and it's play date time and all the other kids are down like this and she's like, I don't know what to do. And I said, everybody, technology down, go outside and play. Because before that, the first thing was let's go outside and play. We've missed that. We're stuck here. Next slide. And then as parents and adults and teachers and caregivers, we're stuck here. I like this picture, but I don't because it makes me sad. Because mom is enjoying whatever it is she's doing, and the kid is like, yes, I'm just here. There's physical separation, there's facial, emotional separation. I see this a lot. I have sat in family tea meetings with families, and we're talking about issues within the family. And the parent is like this. And I have to put them on phone punishment. We're adults. We shouldn't have to be put on phone punishment. But this is the world we're living in. Next slide. And what are we teaching? How many of us walk around like this? I'm guilty. My husband tells me all the time, could you just put the phone down and let's watch this TV show? I'm guilty. I'm answering emails. I'm chatting with someone, whatever I'm doing. But we're occupied. So if we're doing this, what are the children in our lives, whether they're ours in our community, we educate them, what are they doing? Studies show very clearly that children do what they see more than what you say. So if they see this, guess what? They're doing it too and they think it's okay. Next slide. forgotten about connecting and learning with others. Generational connections. This is my beloved Verna. I love Verna. We are completely different people. Verna is from New York. Verna loves makeup a whole lot and big hair. She reminds me of the people on Coffee Talk from Saturday Night Live. And she's Jewish. I am none of those things. But I love her because her wisdom is amazing. What happened to us having mentors as adults and creating mentors for our children and the children in our lives? Do we do that? And the mentor doesn't have to be your family. We just had here in this room the No More Do Better event, one of my favorite moments. Oh, she's here. She talked about how her probation officer was amazing. That is not a relative. Most people hate their probation officers, but her probation officer became a mentor. Verna is my friend's mother. Verna's like in her 80s, but let me tell you, this woman does life. You see no phone on her. She lives in New York. In the winter, she lives in California and Arizona with her kids, and guess what? She knows every senior center around. She is in there. She is living life. And she teaches me every day how to just live life and connect with people. Her husband passed away of over 60 years 3 years ago. And I said, Verna, how you doing? And she says, I'm great. Because I told my husband, I can't stop living and connecting and being with people because you're no longer here. I'm going to honor and celebrate your life by continuing to connect and live. Why are we not connecting with people but connecting with devices? Next slide. So why don't we talk? What are we afraid of now? Because sometimes I wonder, is it fear-based? I was talking to a group of teenagers doing a presentation, and it was about healthy relationships and how to identify it. So I create a fictional perfect person you want to date. And I said, okay, how many times should he call you? And they looked at me like I was an alien from outer space. And they said, what? I said, do you want him to call you once a day, twice a week? Oh, I don't want him to call me at all. He needs to text. And I thought, oh, we're in trouble. Text you? Yes. Why would I talk to him or her? I said, you would talk to the person because that's how you make connection. That's how you know what's happening. That's how you know really what they're communicating. Tone means a lot, but we text. So we had a long discussion about correction. Next slide. I would love to see more of this. People just sitting and talking. You want to prevent your child from being a victim of abuse, whether it's trafficking, bullying, any other kind of abuse. I've been working with kids for 18 years now. Do you know what works? Being present and talking. Showing up. When you do that, they know they can count on you and depend on you. They know they can tell you things. Whether you are the parent or whatever adult role you play in their life, be present. Next slide. How many assignments have I given to families on ways to bridge gaps in healing? My number one assignment, what does someone think it is? It's actually on the screen. Just yell it out.
Have dinner together.
Eat dinner. What happened? In my house, we ate dinner every single day together. No phones, no TVs, nothing. That's talk time. I did it with my daughter growing up. Number one assignment is just to have dinner together. And let me tell you, that was very difficult for families. So I would say, let's try it once a week. Just one time. Sometimes I'd have to show up at dinner time, so we know what to do during that time. This is where you will find information. In the moments you have with the child that seem very minimal, but they're very large to them. Before I had a kid who was going to be sent to camp for a very long time, I went and met with his teachers. I don't know how many teachers are in the room, but shout out, you're quite amazing educators in general. When I want to know something about a kid, that's the first place I go. They know a lot of stuff. And this kid's teacher told me, oh, he plays chess during lunch. I said, wait, what? The teacher had built a connection where this kid felt safe to be himself. Next slide. Know your neighbors so that they can help you be part of your village. Don't know the weird neighbors. Try to find your solid, good neighbors who seem like normal people. They find out if they're questionable, talk to them. Because knowing your neighbors does a number of things. It helps you build your village and provide protection for your kid, but it also helps you know you need to be protecting your kid. When you try to isolate and silo yourself, you're missing what could be happening or what could be happening in a really wonderful way. We need our community. Next slide. I think the next one. Connection. You heard that throughout the day. If you want to protect the children in your lives, you need to connect with them. You can have a million security apps on their phone, everything you want. But there's nothing better than a person being connected to a child and that child saying, I'm in trouble and I need help. And trust me, they will do that if they trust you. It is our job to build the trust. And it starts very simply. How are you today? What's your favorite color? What do you like to eat? When I know if a kid is connected to their mom, you know what I ask? What's your favorite meal your parent makes? And if they don't have one, it's usually there's a problem. Ask simple questions and be yourself. Create a safe space for them to connect with you. And you will see a change, a huge change in the reduction in children that are being abused because they are connected to a safe, healthy person. I think there's another slide. Okay, thank you.